Joining me on the broadcast is Ambassador Manjeev Puri, former diplomat. He was a part of Kanimozhi Karunanidhi's delegation who visited Russia, Latvia, Slovakia, Greece and Spain. Ambassador Puri, thank you so much for joining us on NewsX. In many of your years of diplomacy, Ambassador Puri, have you ever seen such a united attempt of a global outreach and at this scale? Ambassador Puri, can you hear me?
I'm very happy and was very honored to be part of this all-party members of parliament delegations that was sent out by India to various countries in the world. This is a huge and massive exercise. Of course, we've had multi-party delegations throughout in the past too. Most celebrated case, of course, being 1994, when the leader of the opposition, Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, was requested by the then Prime Minister, Sri P.V. Narasimha Rao, to lead a small group of people who went to the UN Human Rights Council. But, you know, the past is a precedent. What we've done now is extraordinary and very good. It underlines in a massive manner India's national resolve. We are one as a country, we are one as a nation, and our MPs coming from across political lines, across the states of country, across communities, everything, underlined this. And I can say this to you, that this was deeply appreciated and very well understood by all the people that we met, because, you know, nothing resonates better than when members of parliament, elected representatives, interact with governments, especially those of elected countries. It was an extraordinary exercise that we carried out, and truly, truly a representative of India, the great and the world's largest democracy, now of course the largest country in the world.
So, Ambassador Puri, then would you say that the objectives of the visit have been fulfilled, and if you could spell those out for our viewers?
The main objectives of the visit, in my understanding, were to reach out to the world and explain to everyone that India is a country which has been a victim for terrorism for years, but India now has an absolutely determined national resolve that it will protect its citizens and will not take terrorism. We will be resolute in our response to terrorism, and also we would like the world to be resolute in its response on terrorism, a kind of restarting of the global war of global attack on terrorism, get the entire world unified so that terrorism as a scourge no longer affects humankind. It's also very important to identify the fountainheads of terrorism, especially the one in our neighborhood, Pakistan, which has been the source not only of the terror attacks in India, which truly, truly worry us, but also for those all over the world, indeed responsible for nearly all the major terror attacks in the world. All of this was, I think, very well accomplished by our delegation, certainly, but I'm sure the others too, because when members of parliament, when elected representatives across the entire political divide reach out to people, it resonates with others in government. They take that into account. They listen, they hear, and they internalize. And that was particularly important because we have to do two things. One, send out a clear message that there is no place for terror as far as India is concerned. Terror and talks don't go together. Terror and other ways of doing things don't go together. And in any case, terror is something that should be removed from the global discourse altogether. Secondly, the fountainheads of terror, the perpetrators of terror must be brought to book. And I think all of these were very well recognized by people. And we hope and count that there will be a massive global support for this particular heinous crime against humanity in the form of terrorism, and those who perpetrate it and those who sponsor it. And
okay, Ambassador Puri, so what do you make of Pakistan's move sending Bilawal Bhutto to 3 nations?
You know, when Pakistan saw that we were making this multi-party across the globe approach, they naturally had to respond, and they did what they could do, which is to send somebody of the stature of Bilawal Bhutto across to people. Look, this is an expected response. They had to do it. They're reaching out to people who they think they can reach out to and to put out their narrative. But the fact that we went out first, we spoke to the people. We had a multi-party delegation in which the opposition members were far more than those who represented the ruling party. This resonates with people. So my understanding is that when he and others from Pakistan meet people in other countries, they will be well briefed. They will know what to expect from the Pakistani narrative, what questions to ask. And my own understanding is it will expose them. It will lift the veil of what they are trying to cover up and go ahead. I don't believe that the last word that people hear is what they believe. No, they know what is the truth. We put it across to them and it will be internalized, and the Pakistanis will face this and come to realize that this is the reality and the world knows it.
Okay, Ambassador Puri, does the delegation's outreach then set the stage for a coordinated, stronger response to states that essentially fund terror, such as Pakistan? Is that something we've managed to achieve?
Look, I believe that, building a global coalition is absolutely essential. Pakistan is also a major country. It's a country with a very large population. It's important for some countries in the world. But there can be no other substitute except for a global gaze on those who foment terrorism. Pakistan has found itself listed in almost every other major terrorist attack, not only in India, but anywhere in the world. The world knows it, but they need to be now strong in their gaze on Pakistan to tell the Pakistanis that, look, not only must you eschew terrorism in all its forms and manifestations, no giving place to terror infrastructure, you should act against them. And secondly, you should demonstrate that you have acted against them because you've gone on too long. Secondly, look at Pakistan as a country. It has to repeatedly go to international institutions and seek bailouts. What are bailouts? They are actually, begging for support. They have to do this. Whether the world supports or not, that's a different question altogether. But would the world not turn around and tell them, look, focus on development. Focus on what things are good for your people. Yours is a country which is not growing, which is not developing, where the GDP is not going up. That's what you need to focus on. Stop focusing on terror. And I'm sure not only will this message go out, the world, when it turns to Pakistan and looks at it in the gaze which says there's no place for terrorism, Pakistan hopefully will start realizing that the price for fomenting terrorism is too high, too difficult, and cannot be sustained even by a country where the army leads and the army is in control.
Okay, Ambassador Puri, my last question to you, sir. Would you say that the outlook of some of the European nations towards Pakistan could have possibly changed after the Operation Sindoor Outreach?
Outlooks take time to change. Countries have relations. And Pakistan also has relations with European countries. Europeans also have their internal understanding of terrorism. They've all suffered from terrorism, and they have their own rules and regulations. What is most important in my understanding is the changing India. An India which is going places, the fourth largest economy in the world, an economy that will become the third largest economy very soon. And so therefore a country and an economy of great interest to the world, of course, including the Europeans. Not only are we a large economy, we are also an economy with values, with democracy. All of these things sit well with them. And so therefore, not just understanding our perspective, but having a similar perspective as us. And if that means that Pakistan is an outlier, they better change and come to the fore. I think that will slowly but surely become the position of all countries in the world. I have little doubt in my mind. Of course, we must remember there are geopolitics in the world. There are various interest groups which operate in all of this, and Pakistan will try and make its own thing. But the Indian position is a position of high morality. It's a position which sits well with democratic countries. And in any case, terror, as the senior interlocutor told us, a cancer of the modern world, has absolutely no place in this society of ours.
Absolutely. Ambassador Puri, thank you so much for joining us on NewsX.